So today I'm going to teach you how to speak English well. Some 10 simple tips for extraordinary fluency. First of all, let me ask you some questions. So do you want to learn how to speak English well? So are you also looking for a shortcut to English fluency? Well, I don't have tricks that will give you perfect English in 5 minutes a day, but I do have solid tips that will help you learn how to speak English more fluently in less time. So here are some tips that will help you speak English better than ever. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, accept that English is a weird language. Yes, you heard it right. Sometimes you can find patterns in English grammar, but other times English doesn't make sense at all. For example, why are read, read, and read? You know the verbs. Put, cut, like that. Dream, dream. Anyhow, the same word but pronounced differently depending on whether you are speaking the past or present tense. Or why is mice the plural of mouse but houses is the plural of house? Unfortunately, so there are just as many exceptions as there are rules in English. It's easy to get stuck on learning how to speak English properly if you try to find a reason for everything. Sometimes English is weird and unexplainable. So instead, the best thing to do is just memorize the strange exception and move on. Number 2, dive into the deep end. So what does it mean? Dive into the deep end. So studying English for an hour once a week is not usually enough to make any real progress. The best way to quickly improve your English is to spend at least a few minutes practicing every day. Immerse yourself as much as possible every time you study and challenge yourself to listen to, read, and even say things in English that you think might be too difficult for you. If you want to speak English fluently, you need to make it an essential part of your everyday life. Okay, friends? Number 3, stop being a student. Because the right attitude can make the difference between failure and success. So stop thinking of yourself as someone who is learning English and start thinking of yourself as someone who speaks English. Okay? Not learning English, who speaks English. It's a small change, but it will make you feel more confident and help you to use the English you already know more effectively. This also means you need to start thinking in English. If you want to say the word apple in English, for example, right now you probably think of the word in your native language first and then try to think of the correct wording in English. That is wrong. Instead, try imagining a picture of an apple. Imagine an apple and then just think the English word apple. That is the right way. So real fluency happens when you stop mentally translating conversations. Number 4, remember the answer is in the question. Listen carefully when someone asks you a question in English and you will answer perfectly every time. So listening is very, very important. English questions are like mirrors. For example, does he speak English? Yes, he does. You see, the beauty of language is very simple. Does he speak English? So, yes, he does. Because the answer is in the question. Can she play piano? Yes, she can. Is it correct? Yes, it is. So if someone asks you a question and you are not sure how to answer, start by thinking about the words used in the question. The person has already said most of the words, you need to make your answer. Instead of just memorizing English grammar, start to look for patterns like this one, and there are a lot of simple ways to cheat and make it easier to remember the right words. Okay friends, number 5, get more out of listening. So when most students listen to a native English speaker, they focus on understanding what all the words mean. This is definitely important, but there is a lot more you can learn from listening. Okay friends, try listening not just to what the words mean, but to how the person says them. Notice which word the person links together in a sentence, or when they say yeah instead of you. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Try to remember these details the next time you speak, and your English will begin to sound more natural. Easier said than done, right? When you listen to native English speakers, it can be hard to understand every single word that is spoken. They might use many words you don't know. They talk too fast or have a strong accent. Do you agree with me? Okay, number 6. Use it or lose it. So there is an expression in English, use it or lose it. It basically means if you don't practice an ability, you might forget it. This idea can be used to help you remember new English vocabulary. The best way to remember a new word is to use it right away so it will stay in your memory. When you learn a new word, try to say it in sentences a few times over the next week and you will never forget. So this I will cover in the memory techniques very soon. Use it or lose it. Number 7, learn and study phrases. So you can see some of the videos on phrases and idioms. Don't just simply, just try to memorize those idioms and phrases. So learn and study phrases. 7th one. Speaking English fluently means being able to express your thoughts, feelings and ideas. Your goal is to speak English in full sentences. So why not learn it in full sentences? You will find that English is more useful in your everyday life if you study whole phrases rather than just vocabulary and verbs. Start by thinking about phrases that you use frequently in your native language and then learn how to say them in English. Number 8. Don't study grammar too much. This is very important. I told you in the first video. I was wearing a cap in that video. Don't study grammar too much. There are so many institutes, especially during summer, they teach you grammar and grammar and grammar, and you will learn nothing. So many people, they come to me to consult. I simply tell them, don't join these types of institutes who teach you grammar. Okay? Little grammar is important. But these institutes, they are making bucks, I don't know what to use the right word. These people, they are worse than, butchers. So the key to learning a language is finding a balance between studying and practicing. Speaking English fluently is not the same as knowing perfect English grammar, my friend. I'm telling you time and again. Even native speakers, English speakers, make grammar mistakes. I have worked with native speakers more than 12 years and they make lots of mistakes. Do you understand? I work with Britishers as well as Americans. I'm telling you, native speakers, they make lot of mistakes. Okay? Grammatically. So fluency is about being able to communicate. That's why sometimes it is important to put the grammar textbook away so you can go out and practice those writing, reading, listening and speaking English in the real world. Talk to real people. So if you want to join any institute, take your father or someone who speaks good English and just talk to the faculty at least 5 minutes. If you can be able to communicate with your friend or your relative, then you can join that one. Because these are fake people who are making money. Okay, don't waste your time and effort as well as energy. So number 9, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Sometimes it can be difficult to put all those rules and words together into a simple sentence. Don't let the fear of saying something wrong stop you from speaking at all. Even if you think you are making a mistake, keep speaking anyway. Most of the time, people will understand what you are trying to say even if you make a mistake. I make a lot of mistakes. Plus, the more you speak, the easier it gets, and the more quickly the right words will come to mind. Okay friends, number 10, the last one, learn from everyone. Be a student. So you don't have to only learn English from textbooks and teachers. Anyone who speaks English can help you practice. Imagine how you would feel if someone asked you in your native language how to pronounce something. How to pronounce something. Would you be angry? No. You would probably be happy to help. Just like most English speakers are happy to help you. If you know any English speakers, whether it's a friend or co-worker, that means your colleague, take advantage of the opportunity to practice and learn from them. Okay friends, hope these 10 simple tips on how to speak English well for extraordinary fluency will be very helpful to you. So if you like this video, please share it with your friends and family. And if you ain't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe now to stay tuned and connected to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching this video.